The Deepwater Horizon Oil Spill, 2010. The Deepwater Horizon Oil Spill, also referred to as the BP oil spill, stands as one of the most significant environmental disasters in modern history. It was triggered by a catastrophic explosion aboard the Deepwater Horizon drilling rig on April 20, 2010, in the Gulf of Mexico. This event caused the largest marine oil spill ever recorded, leaving behind massive environmental, economic, and legal impacts that reshaped how we understand offshore drilling risks. For students, this incident offers critical lessons on corporate accountability, environmental stewardship, and the consequences of pushing technological limits without proper safeguards. To fully understand the Deepwater Horizon disaster, it's essential to explore the background of the drilling operation and the inherent risks associated with it. The Deepwater Horizon was an advanced offshore drilling rig owned by Transocean and leased by BP, British Petroleum. At the time of the accident, it was drilling an exploratory well named Macondo, located approximately 41 miles off the Louisiana coast and in water nearly 5,000 feet deep. This ultra-deep water exploration aimed to tap into lucrative oil reserves beneath the seabed. During the early 2000s, the oil and gas industry pushed technological and geological boundaries in its quest to discover new energy reserves. Deepwater drilling became a necessity to meet soaring global energy demands. While this innovation resulted in economic benefits, it also came with heightened risks. Many critics had already voiced concerns about inadequate safety standards, pointing out the industry's tendency to prioritize profits over strict safety protocols. The Macondo well and Deepwater Horizon operation epitomize this dangerous imbalance between innovation and caution. These factors set the stage for a disaster that would forever change offshore drilling. On April 20, 2010, a catastrophic series of events unfolded on the Deepwater Horizon rig, claiming lives, endangering ecosystems, and sparking a global debate. Disaster struck due to a failure in the cement seal that was supposed to contain pressurized hydrocarbons. Methane gas surged uncontrollably to the surface, triggering an explosion and a catastrophic fire that could not be extinguished. The accident claimed the lives of 11 rig workers and injured many others. Just 2 days later, the rig sank to the Gulf of Mexico's seabed, marking the beginning of an environmental crisis of unprecedented scale. The damaged Macondo well unleashed massive amounts of crude oil into the Gulf, estimated at 60,000 barrels per day. Initial attempts to cap the leak failed as engineers struggled with the well's depth and damage. The spill persisted for 87 days, releasing more than 4.9 million barrels, the equivalent of 210 million gallons of crude oil, before the well was permanently sealed on July 15, 2010. As BP and government agencies deployed chemical dispersants like Corexit to break down the oil, new concerns emerged over the chemical's toxicity and their long-term effects on marine life. This situation highlighted the immense challenges in balancing cleanup speed and ecological health. The Deepwater Horizon spill wreaked havoc on marine ecosystems, coastal environments, and dependent economies. Students learning about ecosystems and species conservation will find this incident a crucial case study. The spill killed millions of marine organisms, including fish, birds, and mammals. Endangered species such as Kemp's Ridley sea turtles and bottlenose dolphins faced sharp population declines, many succumbing to oil exposure, toxic dispersants, and habitat disruptions. Additionally, fish suffered major disruptions to their reproductive systems, affecting ecosystems for years to come. The oil spilled into wetlands, marshlands, and coral reefs, key habitats for various marine species. These damaged ecosystems suffered long-term effects as breeding grounds and feeding areas were wrecked. Coral reefs smothered in oil lost biodiversity, and submerged marsh grasses left coastal zones vulnerable to erosion. The Gulf's fishing and tourism industries, which were vital sources of livelihood for coastal communities, experienced staggering losses. Shrimping, a cornerstone of Gulf seafood markets, collapsed. Communities dependent on tourism also faced plummeting incomes, creating ripples of economic hardship. Amid the unfolding environmental catastrophe, efforts to manage and mitigate the damage signaled the scale and complexity of the disaster. In the wake of the spill, BP, the US government, and international teams mobilized extensive response operations. Strategies included controlled burns, skimming oil off the surface, and deploying over 1.8 million gallons of chemical dispersants. Additionally, 47,000 personnel and 6,000 vessels worked tirelessly to contain the spill. Despite these efforts, large-scale contamination left coastal areas and ocean waters damaged. Several methods to seal the Macondo well, including the highly publicized Top Kill operation, were attempted without success in the first 2 months. Only after employing a containment dome paired with relief wells did engineers finally succeed on July 15, 2010, bringing the leak to a halt. This case demonstrated the technical and logistical limitations of deep-water spill response. Cleanup didn't stop with capping the well. Restoration projects aim to rehabilitate mangroves and wetlands, reintroduce native species, and repair ecosystems. These efforts shed light on the importance of long-term commitment to environmental renewal following disasters. The catastrophe provoked intense investigations into the causes of the spill and led to sweeping legal and financial consequences for BP and its contractors. Detailed investigations revealed a mix of mechanical failures, poor construction design, and human error. Cost-cutting decisions, like omitting additional safety barriers, compounded engineering shortcomings. BP, Transocean, and Halliburton were all held accountable for neglecting vital safety protocols. BP faced fierce legal scrutiny, culminating in the largest settlement in U.S. history, a $18.7 billion penalty covering environmental rehabilitation and economic compensation. Cleanup, settlements, and lawsuits together cost BP a monumental $65 billion. This showcased the financial and reputational risks corporations face when safety is sidelined. The aftermath of the Deepwater Horizon spill brought about significant changes in industry practices, regulations, and public awareness. In response to the disaster, governments tightened oversight over offshore drilling. The U.S. introduced robust well control regulations and heightened standards for blowout preventers, the very safety mechanism that had failed in this case. A temporary moratorium on deep water drilling provided space to evaluate and implement stricter practices. BP's restructuring prioritized safety and risk mitigation, but the company's reputation suffered lasting damage. The disaster emphasized corporate responsibilities toward public safety and environmental ethics, teaching students about the importance of accountability in business. Though some Gulf ecosystems showed resilience, long-term studies revealed lingering harm, including reproductive issues and genetic mutations in marine species. Coastal marshes require decades to return to pre-spill conditions. The ongoing monitoring effort underscores the challenges of restoring natural systems after such large-scale destruction. The Deepwater Horizon incident offers profound lessons, especially for young minds shaping the future of energy and environmental policy. For the first time, a disaster of this magnitude showcased the environmental risks of oil drilling to a global audience. Public pressure grew for the exploration of cleaner energy sources, sparking widespread calls to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. Advancements in spill response measures and risk analysis tools emerged in the wake of this crisis. These technologies aim to prevent future incidents and ensure the industry implements better safety frameworks. The Deepwater Horizon serves as a haunting reminder of the consequences of lax oversight, cost-cutting measures, and the pursuit of profits without considering risks. Students can use this case as an example of why regulations, ethics, and environmental sustainability must guide industry operations. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill of 2010 was an unparalleled tragedy with far-reaching consequences for ecosystems, communities, and industries. It stands as a stark reminder of the risks associated with offshore drilling, underscoring the need to prioritize safety, accountability, and environmental health. The key takeaway is clear. A sustainable, responsible approach to energy and environmental protection is essential to prevent such disasters in the future.